Imagine a woman waking up inside a quiet funeral home, cold air against her skin and the smell of flowers all around her, and her family crying just outside the room. And then you hear it. The pastor says, "We thank God for her life, but you are not gone. You are alive. Your story is not finished." This is the true story of a woman who saw her own funeral and stopped it. Before we begin, remember this. God can restore what everyone else believes is over. Subscribe to join us for more real stories of miracles and hope. Her name is Maria Alvarez. She lived in a quiet town surrounded by green hills, small houses, and neighbors who knew every face. Maria was a mother of 2 children, Tomas and Elena. They were her joy. She worked every day at a bakery. She woke early, made bread with her hands, and thanked God for another sunrise. Maria was a woman of faith. She believed that God had given her life a purpose, even when life was hard. She did not have much money, but her heart was rich with love. One evening, Maria was walking home from work. The sky was dark, clouds covered the moon. The street was quiet. Her footsteps echoed on the pavement. She felt a sudden pain in her chest, sharp, heavy. Her breath stopped for a moment. She tried to call for help. She could hear her own heartbeat, loud like a drum. The world around her spun like a wheel. She fell to the ground. Her eyes looked up toward the sky. Then everything faded to black. Doctors tried to bring her back. They worked for a long time. Machines beeped and alarms sounded, but finally they stopped. They told her family, "We are sorry, there is nothing more we can do." Her daughter Elena screamed. Her son Tomas held his grandmother and cried. The hospital approved a death certificate. Her body was taken to the funeral home. But inside her silent body, Maria was still there. She could not move. She could not speak. She could not open her eyes. Yet she felt everything. She heard everything. She was trapped between life and death. Maria prayed inside her mind, "God, I am still here. Please, help me return." A Bible verse came to her heart. "Do not be afraid. I am the first and the last. I am the living one. I was dead, and now I am alive forever and ever." Revelation chapter 1, verses 17 and 18. Her spirit refused to let go. The funeral home was quiet. Soft music played like a whisper. Candles flickered near her coffin. White lilies stood on both sides, filling the room with a heavy smell. Maria could hear the door open and close. People began to arrive. Friends she loved. Family who always stood by her side. Maria tried to scream, but her mouth didn't move. Her hands did not rise. Her body would not respond. She heard her mother crying, "My daughter, you left too soon." She wanted to hug her. She wanted to speak, but she was still trapped. The pastor spoke with a calm voice. Maria was a woman who trusted God. She lived with love. She entered his rest too early, but she is now in his arms. Maria felt tears forming behind her closed eyes. She did not want to leave her children. She wanted to live. She wanted another chance. Elena approached her coffin. She placed a small paper flower in her mother's hands. It was something she had made in school. Through her frozen fear, Maria felt a tiny spark deep inside her heart. She felt love so strong that it pushed against the darkness. She heard a voice inside her soul. "Wake up." Her heart began to beat again. Soft at first, then stronger. Her fingers twitched. Her chest moved with a breath. No one noticed. Not yet. Her eyes opened just a little. The light hurt. She blinked. Slowly, she took another breath. Maria found strength to move one hand. She lifted her fingers toward the lid of the coffin. Her daughter gasped. "Elena?" Maria tried to whisper. Elena screamed. "My mother is alive!" Chaos filled the room. Everyone panicked. The pastor stepped back with shock. Others rushed forward. The funeral director called emergency services. Maria tried to sit up. Her vision was blurry. Her voice was weak, but she spoke clearly. "I am not gone." Tears of joy swept through the room. God had heard her cry. At the hospital, doctors ran tests. They were shocked. They had signed a certificate. They had believed everything was finished. One doctor whispered, This should be impossible. Maria smiled weakly and said, "Nothing is impossible for God." During the days that followed, Maria regained her strength. Her children never left her side. They held her hands every night. Her mother prayed and thanked God for this miracle. Maria told her story again and again. She explained how she heard every voice at the funeral, how she prayed inside, how a warm light pulled her back, how love gave her breath again. She remembered seeing something when she was close to death, a field of golden light, peace like a warm blanket. She felt God near her, but she heard a message. Your purpose is not finished. Return. She realized her life had meaning she had not yet discovered. A Bible verse guided her thoughts. With God all things are possible. Matthew chapter 19, verse 26. Maria promised God she would live differently. She would live with courage. She would serve others. She would tell the world her testimony. Friends began asking her to speak at churches. People who heard her story believed again. Some cried, some hoped, some found their faith restored. Maria discovered that her second chance was not only for herself, it was for everyone who needed to believe in miracles again. One evening, Maria sat with her children outside their home. They watched the stars shine above them. The sky looked like a huge blanket filled with hope. Thomas asked, "Mother, what was it like?" Maria looked at him with gentle eyes. "I felt God holding me, but I knew I had to return to you." Elena said, "You saved yourself." Maria shook her head. "No, God saved me, and He saved all of us, because now we understand how precious life is." She looked up at the stars and whispered a quiet prayer. Maria returned to the bakery. Her hands shaped dough with love. She greeted every customer with a smile. She reminded people that every new day is a gift. News channels came to interview her. Reporters asked their questions. How did this happen? What did you feel? Are you afraid of what comes next? Maria always answered the same way. I am not afraid because God gave me life twice. And if He gives me another breath every morning, then I will use it to help someone else breathe easier. Her story spread far beyond her small town. People around the world listened to her message. You may feel like your story is finished. You may think there is no hope left. But God sees what others cannot see. He can bring life into places everyone believes are dead. Maria says this to everyone she meets. If God can bring me back from my own funeral, then imagine what He can do for you. She keeps one Bible verse close to her heart. For I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord. Plans to give you hope and a future. Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11. This is the truth. Your story is not over. Your miracle may be closer than you think. Sometimes life places us in a coffin before our time. Not a real coffin with wood and nails, but a coffin of fear, a coffin of failure, a coffin of sickness, a coffin of broken dreams. People may stand around you and say it is over, but God says it is not finished. You may feel silent, still, trapped, but your heart is beating. Your purpose is alive. Your miracle is on the way. Rise again, stand again, dream again, live again. If this story touched your heart, subscribe and stay with us. We will bring you more real stories of faith, hope, and miracles. Together we will inspire the world to believe again, because life is a gift, and your story continues.